gonna go with
Okay.
this. All right.
Sounds good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ranker Z.
Ranker Z, fine. So I'm kind of doing the opposite of category of JaggerG because I like 100%. I like getting everything and it's fun.
On the other hand, it's pretty comparable in difficulty in speedrunning.
Yeah, like 100% is a lot harder than people take for granted. Well, people assume 100% is easy. I guess a lot of people think so. But
English
that's
is
not
hard,
quite the
isn't it,
case.
Kirby? English is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, English is hard. I don't know how to talk. But yeah, the beginning is pretty much going to be exactly the same. You're only going to see differences starting from, I think, when I get bombs. Like, the only difference is that I get, I think, two extra E-tanks before it bombs. One in the main deck and one in Sector 1.
I swear that Hornado is so hard to hit.
Yeah. Guys, really mean. But yeah, like the big thing is that in a lot of parts in the game, there's a lot of small parts where you kind of make minor detours with a lot of minor tricks. There's a lot of really crazy rooms in Fusion with expansions that you have to go through as well. Like, they're pretty ridiculous, and sometimes the speed tricks themselves are a lot more ridiculous than the intended way to do the room as well. Like, and then you're going to see a lot more space boosts and R shots in this category. And you're actually going to see a mid-air bomb jumping used as well. Well, being useful outside of the Sector 6 data room.
You're gonna get a 105, right?
105 face.
Reverse ice missiles first try. No pause buffering.
We'll see. How did I not get hit by the
Jagger did it,
zombie?
man.
That was slow. Dang. And this is also on console, like JaggerG. We both played on console.
And we both use Game Boy Advance SPs connected to the GameCube to control it. It's definitely the best controller for Metroid games.
Unless you're Dragondarch, then you use the control stick on the GameCube controller.
Hey, I don't have to charge my controller every time I want to use it, so there. Like, the only advantage you really have on an SP is that you can morph faster than I can.
And wall jumping is more consistent.
Oh. I played AM2R on a GameCube controller.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, from what I've seen in the AM2R run, there was a lot of legit stuff there.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a really good game. I would highly recommend down.
Something I can stream over the summer when I can't really stream console stuff over the summer.
It has full gamepad support, so you don't have to worry too much about that.
Oh no, the first run killer, except this is not one stupid missile tank.
Be a run killer if you just completely forgot it.
Yeah.
No, that
I could go back.
Grabbed is the hardest one.
It's pretty. I always feel silly when if I miss the second tank. Barely miss the shot. Just take it so long to hit it afterwards, because you're not in a place you're used to. Though in 1% you only have 10 missiles when fighting Arachnus, in any percent you have 20 missiles fighting Arachnids. Turns out in 100% you only have 19, so it's technically harder
It actually
to
makes a
fight
pretty big
Arachnids
difference.
in 100% compared to any percent. Because he'll randomly decide to roll, and if
Perfect.
Decided not to roll this time.
If he decides to roll, I'll be left with 2 missiles, usually, because I would tink 2 missiles. In any percent, I'd be left with 3 missiles, meaning I still have enough missiles to finish off the Gorax, but in 100% I have to get a missile drop. So Arachnids is actually a little bit more difficult in 100%.
You guys should really start jumping over that slash. One day.
So the record for 100% category is 1 hour 5 minutes in-game time by Biospark. He actually has the run up on YouTube. I linked his YouTube channel a while ago during JaggerG's 1% run, but it's a really freaking good run, and he can get a 104. He just hasn't grinded it out that much, and he got the 105 in the middle of a race too. So and the second best time is by me, which is 106, and then I think Kadoom and Dragonfangs both have a 107. I don't know if anyone else has a 107. I think Hamilton has a 108.
I remember that race with Biospark.
Yeah.
Like halfway through the race, it's like I see Kirby spamming Twitter, just like Biospark's on world record pace in a race. Watch now.
Yeah,
Pretty much
nailed
become
pretty
the
much
norm.
every trick in 100%. There's only like one thing he missed out on, which was the shine charge in between the 2 grumble blocks in the Zazabi maze, which saves like 7 seconds. But other than that, he got pretty much every major trick, which is ridiculous. But yeah, if you weren't here earlier during JaggerG's run, what Jimmy said about Sector 1, same thing applies in this category. What he said was, the general idea is you want to avoid taking as many hits as possible, because if you have full health, but not full missiles, then you're guaranteed to get missile drops. And you really want to have as many missiles as possible, no matter which category you're playing. You can run out of missiles, even in 100%, from luck. It's like sometimes it's luck because sometimes you can't dodge a certain pirate pattern, and it's really dumb.
Maybe you can in theory.
Get like one item while you're here this trip, don't you?
Yeah, oh, that's completely off. Worth a shot.
So a lot of the items in this game, there are a lot of tanks you can... it's worth a shot, in my opinion. There are a lot of tanks you can get really early. In fact, you could actually get missile capacity of 200 missiles before you even start Meltdown, which is like less than halfway through the game. It's like 80% of all of the missiles.
Yeah, there's actually kind of a racing category we made that we haven't done in a while. It's called the 200 missile category. It's actually really cool, and there's the ratio of like actual gameplay to annoying cutscenes is actually a lot more in favor of the actual gameplay, because you do all these cool tricks that aren't useful in 100% speedruns to get missile tanks early and such. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, unfortunately in 100%.
Nice.
Nice. Unfortunately in 100%, it's almost always faster to pick up tanks after you get screw attack. It's just like really minor things like you screw attack a bomb block to break it instead of waiting for a bomb to explode.
Ah.
If I remember right, in this sector alone, it's usually in a 200 missile race, you would be getting 5 missile tanks.
I don't actually remember the numbers. I haven't done it in so long. But
you
get a
lot.
You get
100%.
almost all of them. You even get the one in the lava when you're supposed to have gravity suit to get that.
Yep.
In general case, you actually
You
get
have to have extra E-tanks for that. And in 100% you only grab one missile tank.
You don't get any missile tanks, you get the E-tank, but that's it.
Oh yeah? Oh.
Worth a shot. Zero beam at least, that's nice.
Sweet. And a minor difference between 1% and 100% is usually you can pretty much just ignore the red X that drops from the eye doors because you have more than enough ammunition for the bosses and health as well.
Apparently these audio... Oh no, they said it fixed itself, okay. Not sure if you ever mentioned this trade. Did we? Where you kind of... You're supposed
oh no,
to,
we didn't.
Yeah, you're supposed to go all the way around to the left to shoot out that wall. And then shoot the atmosphere stabilizer thingy from the left side, but you can just damage boost and shoot it from the inside instead.
And because it's a 2D game, all you have to do is just overlap your cannon with the weak spot.
And that's one case, again, where the Slayer comes into use, because you have to hit with both the charge beam and the Slayer to finish it off, I think. So. Game cubes.
I always forget there are apparently random game cubes stuck to those stabilizers. If you look really closely at the sprite. Unfortunately, there are no more stabilizers in the game.
So if you missed it, too bad.
So yes, coming up soon after I get bombs is where you're going to start seeing some big differences between the run you just saw and then this run. And that's when you're going to see me start collecting a lot of upgrades. But everything up to bombs is pretty much exactly the same. What Jagger said applies the same way. You want to avoid killing the first 2 red zeros or else they'll respawn in inconvenient spots.
The difference is you can actually tank a hit from them without going into beeping strats.
You can. Although, usually you shouldn't... There's never really a case where you should take a hit. I don't think.
It'll just lose a second.
So there's actually been...
Squish nose.
So there's
That's
actually...
AX's nose squished
yeah.
against the mask.
So there's actually kind of a minor route test that I did like a month ago or something and found a route change that, according to my calculations, saves around a half second to 1 second. And I'm going to do it because it looks cool, even though I haven't practiced it that much recently. So we'll see how it goes.
If it doesn't involve speed booster, Jagger's not interested.
It has an extra space boost in Sector 2.
Oh, wow. Well,
actually
then
pretty
you better
difficult.
get it.
And it's the main reason you'd save time.
If he's lucky, he might actually pick up a tank while space boosting.
I'm not space boosting from right to left, I'm going from left to right. Actually, no, I'll think about it. Wow, that never happened before. I've never missed landing on the platform.
No, speedrun's cancelled. Reset. Go home.
Reset! Also, the Red Zoros gave me pretty nice patterns. Didn't have to kill extra ones. And I got every double missile, which is nice. I have gotten hit by that guy in forever.
It's hard to get hit by that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Happens
I just started walking too early or something. Ah, I was going for the jump.
I mean, you shot straight instead of diagonal.
Yeah, I let go of L earlier for some reason. And I got bombed, so you're gonna see me do an extra wall jump because you actually move 50% faster horizontally by wall jumping or jumping from a ledge than just doing a normal spin jump. So right here, you can see a tiny bit of time. And you'll see me do that a few more times in Sector 2. So like Fusion's wall jumping is good for horizontal speed. It's kind of situational, but it has its uses, whereas Zero Mission's a lot faster vertically, but gives you pretty much no horizontal distance. And Super Metroid's the most versatile.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of runners prefer Fusion's mechanics over Zero Mission's because like there are a lot of things between rooms to improve platforming to make it a lot more interesting.
Wow, oh, I didn't get hit there. But yeah, like
Until
I
you
said
have to
this a few
bomb
times
something
before.
open, and then the bombs take like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I mentioned this on my stream before, but I personally prefer Fusion wall jumping a bit more because I feel like it enhances, as Jagger mentioned, it enhances and creates more interesting platforming strategies versus, as opposed to Zero Missions where you generally just skip platforming and climb up into a wall. Although that's still fun, but I prefer Fusion by a bit.
Fusion's the only one you can't go straight up a wall, unless you're using the debug code.
Got it! Yes!
Biospark has actually gotten a single wall jump with pause buffering in real time.
And you got to Notori early, in real time.
On console, I believe.
With pause buffering, but
Wow.
he did, so he's Biospark.
Essentially, in order to single wall jump, you like. I mean, this was brought up a couple years ago during a Summer Games Done Quick last year, I believe. Like, it's technically possible to single wall jump with the jump extend. By shooting and jump extending towards the wall, you actually can't gain height. Because when you unspin, it'll push you down a pixel. But if you morph and unmorph, like frame perfectly, you won't lose that pixel, and you can gain a couple pixels height on walls.
2 jumps so far.
And doing that, you can actually wall jump into a bomb jump in midair. Of course, unfortunately, it's not really useful anywhere. At least not on console at this point.
I got a 7 jump, it's kind of average. But a really long crawl. Oh, how did I miss that? Ow. Oh.
Boo, no double-double.
That's the easiest one too, actually. Sad face. It's okay, Jagger missed it.
Jagger got the triple-double on Mega X, though.
True.
He got a standing triple-double.
That's gonna be hard to beat. Okay, so should I go for Spinball once?
Only if you want.
Well, if you're saving, you might as well.
As good as Jagger.
I'm really bad at this, but let's go for it. I forgot to morph. Oh well, that works.
Okay, so that strategy he did for the SAX is pretty consistent. There's a chance that it'll turn around and shoot earlier, but and you'll have to jump over it, and it'll cost a little bit of time. But it's a pretty consistent way to skip the SAX, and not have to wait for it. It doesn't save as much time as springballing over it and not getting frozen, of course, but it's a lot easy. It's a lot more consistent. All you have to do is hold left, and it'll shoot the back of your back with the missile and bounce you forwards through it. But with the damage invulnerability, you can just run straight through.
And it's a strat only for 100% because you have the E-tanks to do it. You can technically do it in any percent if you get this many E-tanks, but if you're good enough to do the SAX skip, then you're good enough to skip those E-tanks throughout the entire game. At least that's how I see it, so it's not really worth it in any percent.
Yeah, it's a little give and take. Like it costs quite a bit of time for a third energy tank before this point.
Like any percent, like the standard for really good runners is 2 E-tanks. The first one actually 3 E-tanks, but you don't have 3 before Sector 2. The 3 E-tanks you would normally get in any percent are the one before Arachnus, the one in Sector 6, and the one before Yakuza. And if you're going to cut one out, then you would cut out the one before Yakuza, because the Yakuza and the Arachnus E-tanks cost the same amount of time since they're literally in your path. And so you might as well get the earlier one. And then if you're gonna go with only 1 E-tank, then you get the Sector 6 one and skip Arachnus' E-tank, because as you'll probably see, it was probably seen like about 5 or 10 minutes. The E-tank in Sector 6, you have to bomb a tunnel, which you saw JaggerG do before. You have to bomb a tunnel, but while waiting for the bomb, you can get the E-tank. So you, instead of costing like 2 to 3 seconds as usual, you cost only like up to 1 second instead.
Yeah, because for some reason, bombs will still go off during the item acquisition text dialogue.
Again, this is not something that's not in 1% or any percent, because I have to go get the E-tank and it's kind of a long detour. And the main idea behind the route in Sector 4 is you can pretty much get everything that's not in lower Sector 4 in your first trip. There's like only 1 power bomb tank you can't get, but that's also really close to the entrance, so it's not a big deal. Right. Did I just fire 2 missiles, one above the crab and one... that takes skill. Okay, I'll take that.
Huh. Confirmed world record incoming.
Best aim ever. I did not know it was possible to middle block. Okay.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess it would be possible on CIS, but I've never seen it on
Yeah, I
console
figured it
before,
was
so.
technically possible. I didn't think, like, it would be the middle block you would blow up. I've blown up just the bottom block before.
Apparently the stream's lagging a lot according.
Hmm.
Just gonna check my end really quickly once I kill Ceres.
It looks fine on the
RTM.
Yeah, it's fine on your end, Kirby. It's actually just the stream itself, but it is pretty choppy.
Oh, thanks, Idor. You're amazing.
Awesome. It's really hard to avoid those I-beams. Luckily, you don't have to, pretty much ever.
Ah, too early. Ah. Unfortunately, no perfect satisfied this marathon. Oh, no 2 hit KO. No 3 hit KO either. I shot that too early as well.
Oh man, can't we go for a 6-hit?
6 hit hype. Oh, only
Like, how does
4
that
hits.
even not kill it? I don't understand.
Like, only a 4 hit KO. Come on. So when you morph, you can stop in the air and hover a bit. So that's why I morph right there, because I can land on that platform without power gripping. If I don't morph there, then I would power grip, because I don't like a few extra pixels of horizontal distance. Yeah. Explain in text how to hit Sarah's point blank range. It's kind of complicated. I mean, the general point is you just hit it really close. Doing that consistently with practice just takes a lot of practice and understanding like how Sarah's moves and
Yeah, he seems to have a pretty small hitbox.
Yeah, the hitbox is really hard to hit with. The first hit is really consistent and easy with that setup that I think Biospark found. I'm not sure. But the setup, because he always does the same first pattern, but after that it's completely random. So it just comes down to like memorizing what he's gonna do next, given some patterns. Because some patterns he does them in pairs. Like if he zigzags from right to left, he's always gonna do a high dive from left to right, and I have a setup for that, and vice versa, for example.
Yeah, in my run, he actually gave me a really good pattern. He just he speed boosted, he just went straight across the screen for the second hit, and I didn't expect good luck, so I wasn't ready to hit it.
Yeah, if you're wondering how much damage it does, the point blank shot with the flare and both parts of the charge beam at the same frame does 26 damage total. The flare does 6 damage, and the two parts of the charge beam when charged do 10 damage each. And for reference, a normal missile does 10 damage. So yeah, when Jagger did his 1% run, there was a frame perfect shine charge he went for, and it saves time in 80% and 1%. Take like 2 seconds because you can shine spark immediately to the level 2 door unlock switch. But I can't do that in 100% because there's a missile I have to get on the way.
Unfortunately, I missed it in my run as well.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's a pretty old trick. It's surprising how early that was found. Considering it's frame perfect and you have like obscured visual cues.
I went for it. I was too late. Sad face.
Yeah, at least I got one of the frame. I got the frame perfect one that counts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could shine spark here, and you would shine spark like three rooms, but it's actually slower than what I do here, and what Jagger did before as well. Because again, the bonk and startup animation take a lot of time.
That Fusion's shine sparks aren't exactly that quick.
And you'll notice little things throughout the run that that differentiate people running the game. You'll notice a few different strategies between each player. Like earlier, there was a stretchy on the wall there that Kirby just shot with a charge beam and 3 missiles.
I only did it
And for some
100%,
reason,
actually.
okay, and for some reason I can't get the hang of that, so I always just morph under it, which is slightly slower. I gotta start implementing that though. And
Did I seriously get that data room spark? Holy crap! I did not expect
Nice.
to get that. And I skidded really late. Wow.
Yeah, you did.
Pause buffered it though.
Well, hey, I mean, Jagger missed it. I might as well just at least show it off, even if it is pause buffered. But dang, so that's a data room spark. The idea is that
Yeah.
you want to shine charge as late as possible and hold the button down as long as possible before shine charging. So that's why you want to skid the frame you step on the button, and then shine charge the frame before you go off of it. So that means that you have the biggest window possible to pull off the shine spark. It's not frame perfect, close.
yeah, I think if you don't skid to the button, like across the button, like you have a few frames fewer to get the shine spark off, and it's possible to like stop at the very edge of the button of the platform, but it's pretty much the way I've done it in the past was holding left and mashing, and it's very rare to pull it off. But with the sliding strat, it makes it a lot easier. The real problem is shooting the door before running into it. And luckily Kirby managed that.
Oh yeah, something I was trying to do when I got the missile tank before box is basically when, I think this applies in both Super and Zero Mission as well, but if you're running and you fire a missile, then your running velocity kind of carries into the missile. It's most notable if you fire a diagonal missile while running, especially if you speed boost, then you see the missile curve. And what I was trying to do, it's a very minor thing, but I might as well mention it because I don't have nothing else to talk about because of navigation rooms, but the moment you enter the room with the missile tank, you can fire a curved diagonal missile down right to hit the side hopper immediately. And then that means that I can shoot 3 missiles without stopping to destroy the super missile barrier. I think I timed the missile too late so it didn't curve, so it missed the side hopper. So I had to stop and shoot 4 missiles, and that lost like a half second or something. But there's minor strats like that all around. Like, for example, most people, when you fire the little orb for the charge beam, you can actually hit it like frames earlier by firing a curved missile from above. Because when you shoot your beam, it doesn't curve, so you have to wait. So you have to like wait until you're closer to fire straight diagonally. But by firing a curved missile, you can kind of have it curve around the ramped corner and then hit it a bit earlier.
I thought the beam did curve a little bit.
Did it? I don't know. It doesn't curve as close as much as the missile, at least. Not enough to matter, I guess. Something like that.
I assume it does because earlier in the run in Sector 1 there's the charge beam boss. And usually you release fire during the door transition and you'll hit it almost every time, but every once in a while people will miss it.
Might be pixel alignment or something. Not sure. Or yeah, it could be
Yeah,
just beam curving.
it could be
I have no idea.
door frame rules or something silly like that as well. I don't know.
It's some of the cool minor things you see in Fusion 100% is that there's a lot of minor things where you kind of set something up for a later trip. So right there, I put down the bomb there because I'm going to come back to that room and get the missile tank behind it. But I don't need to wait for it because I'm just going to leave the room immediately and then come back for it later. And while coming back for it, I'm going to plant another bomb at the other side of the room to set up for the E-tank so I can get that E-tank quickly on my way to the Xbox fight. Oh, I don't like your positioning.
And Kirby found out pretty recently that that missile is actually one of the fastest ones to get in any percent as well.
It's actually really fast. It seems kind of slow at first, but that's because there's a fading transition that makes it seem slow, but it's actually very fast, especially because you don't have to wait for the bomb to go off. It's like 1 second slower than the other candidates for fast missile tanks, actually, if done correctly, because you have to springboard out of that tunnel immediately, which you hopefully all get, and it's actually kind of tricky. Right, here comes a really difficult room. The hardest in 100%. That's not good. I messed that up. That room's a lot harder than it looks because, yeah, I really screwed up that room. It's a lot harder than it looks because the 3 worms on the ceiling, they each have 2 patterns each. That means there's 8 possible total patterns, so you have to kind of react instantly and kind of like look at what they're doing and then react instantly, do the best possible option, and the execution's really difficult. Double bomb jump, by the way. So Jagger got triple double on this boss. Let's hope I can live up to his expectations. We'll see.
Hope at least for a 4-hit.
I better get a 4-hit. Now, wow, rip. Oh well. I don't know if that hits. It did, okay. Yeah, so that fight was a lot faster than Jagger's fight, and that's because, as I mentioned, I have a lot of health, meaning I can afford to take a lot of hits. So I can take a hit and get inside of it, the Mega X, and then hit it with both the Charge Beam and the Flare, which does 26 damage total. And the Mega X has 100 HP, so you can kill it in 4 shots if you do it correctly. So,
and theoretically, you could do that in 1% as well, because the outer, its little baby barrier things,
damage.
Whatever they are, they do 20 damage, and...
But it's very risky.
It's so weird, though, because it seems like sometimes I get hit by 2 of them at the same time and take 40 damage.
If you take 40 damage, you're touching the big one, because the big one does exactly 40. But yes,
that's what I was thinking, but it was pretty far from his hitbox. I guess it's just like so big.
Yeah,
probably bigger than it looks.
Ah. Oh, well, that's okay. What I was trying to do there is that there's an ouch that's right above me. It either goes left or right, but you can't see it until you jump up there. But if it's going right, then it's going to be in your way. So that's why I always fire missiles straight up. That's one of those setups, well, not setups, but strategies that people have come up with to kind of cover for every possible enemy option. So if you see a fusion runner shoot a missile or charge beam straight up, then they're trying to cover for the option of that ouch going right, so it's out of the way. And again, I planted a bomb at the bottom right corner of the 2x2 room you see there, because that leads to an E-tank that I'm going to get on my way to Xbox, as I mentioned earlier.
So one of the unfortunate things about fusion runs is like each of the 3 different categories are pretty similar for the first hour or so.
Yeah, that's kind of That's actually a big reason why 80% is not in this marathon, whereas Super Metroid and Zero Mission all have 3 categories each, because 3 categories for those 2 games are pretty significantly different. Especially, well, for both games they're really different. Fusion, that's not quite the case, and 1% is basically 80%, but more interesting, basically. So, yeah, that's why I decided to not include 80% in this marathon.
Yeah, but 100% is pretty redeeming in the last 20 minutes, because there are a lot of really fancy tricks.
There are some scattered throughout the main game as well, but it's not that different from 80% either.
Yeah.
Like, 100% is definitely more different from 80% than 1% is from 80%, but not by that much, I would say. I don't know why I fired that so diagonally. Oh well. Level 3 doors.
You have enough missiles.
I'll go for it one more time. Don't want to waste too much time here though. We press down early.
Yeah, unfortunately, missing that trick costs, in real time it's 15 seconds, and in game time it's like 7.5.
Okay, one more. I will go for one more. Not pause buffering or else Dragondarch will complain.
I mean, the one time you didn't pause buffer it in the marathon, you got it, so...
There we go. Yay! Third try. That's not too bad. That's reverse ice missiles again. Third try, but hey, frame perfect.
Yeah, that's still really good.
Alright, so here's a really annoying RNG-based room coming up soon. The positioning of this ripper and the direction it goes in is random. Like, 1/4 of the time it gives you a really, really bad pattern that you cannot do anything about except wait forever. So, this would give me a good pattern. And that's pretty much perfect. Thank you. If it appears in that same spot but goes left, you have to wait for it to go back right. And if it appears towards the right and starts going right, you can't even reach it for a while. So it's really annoying. Someone asked what's the perfect speedrun time of this game. It depends on what you mean by perfect. The current TAS is 55 minutes in game time, but that's actually outdated now by in terms of routing. Like I think about a year after BioSpark made the 55-minute TAS, we found several route changes overall. One of which saves 15 seconds and is applied to the runs you see today. So after BioSpark eventually finishes his 0% TAS, he said he wants to work on 100% and redo it, and he'll probably get like a 53 with the new improvements, I'd assume. In terms of like human perfect, I made a save state run of basically a run where I used a save state on emulator between each room, and I pretty much did every room in real time. I only used the save states in between rooms, and I got a really low 1 hour 4-minute run. Although I didn't manipulate for luck, and I got pretty bad idle luck, so it could easily be 103 if I went and manipulated luck. So, and the current world record is 105 by Battlespark, and my PB is 106. So you can probably say that I'm like 2 minutes away from potential best. Battlespark's like 1 minute away. Like 104 is probably the realistic best in game time for this category. Also emergency ranker Z. And this is pretty much exactly the same in every category right here, except like 1% you're really lacking in missiles, and 100% you have all the missiles you want, so you can be really aggressive with them. As you can see, minor different strats that save a little bit of time over to other categories. And any percent you still have to kind of wait, be kind of careful with your missiles because you only have up to 30. And 1% is the complete opposite, you have to be very careful with, because you only have 15. Oh, no damage boost.
Freezing both of those stretchies faster?
The way I did it, the 2 stretchy only rings, I think those are the fastest strats for them that Dragon fans did. Researched a while ago.
And where was I?
I don't think that's double. Got 1 double. Yay. It's probably like a 432. Yeah, 432. Pretty good. Very nice time.
Nice. Like, that used to be a really ideal time until we learned how to get doubles on the I-core.
So without the double, it would have been like a 429, probably. Roughly. So ideal would probably be like 435, 436. Probably. Damage boost. Damage boost. You can Shine Spark up this shaft here, but screw that. I'm just gonna do this awesome sexy climb.
Or you didn't do the wall jump.
Oh, I forgot about that. I should have. Yeah, I'm not sure what Jagger did to climb this shaft because I was probably busy setting something for a stream, but that's how I do that climb. So it looks pretty cool and shows that Ice Beam, no, not Ice Beam. Well, Ice Beam is awesome in this game. Ice missiles are very awesome in this game.
Yeah, it was basically the same except I didn't miss the upward shot on the stretchy. Kind of weird, like, it's not 100% consistent thought. So, seems like it should
Jagger
be, but
did
it
was
isn't.
go up the shaft, one hit from dying from the damn purple stretchies, and was freezing them at the last possible moment.
Yeah.
Why would I not be surprised?
So it was like the same with almost no health. It's the same to me.
Yeah, Prime 3 ice missiles are not
minor
very
details.
useful, but this is not the time to talk about Prime 3. You will hear me say a lot of things about Prime 3 during the Prime 3 run.
should be good at the Prime games one of these days. Take a long time though.
Perfect.
Yes, that's what I tried to do. Luckily that bottom stretchy doesn't do as much damage as the top one.
I'm surprisingly not that tired right now, even though I've been up for 20 hours. I mean, I feel a little bit tired, but not that much. I feel like playing Fusion right now is keeping me awake pretty well, so... and talking about it as well.
Probably just had like a second win or something.
And playing Prime 2 will probably keep me awake as well. I'm not sure about Prime 3, but... we'll see.
Prime 3 will keep you awake until you hit Elysia.
And okay, Norian's not too bad. The worst thing in the world, so I'll probably stay away from Norian. But Elysia, yeah. That's going
At least you'll get a quick nap in.
It's gonna be like, Norian, okay, I'm good. Brio, Elysia.
Like, I would probably run Prime 3 a lot more if it was just Brio, Pirate, Homeworld, and Faith. Like, I think those 3 areas are really fun to speedrun. Not really fun, but they're pretty fun.
Norian wasn't too bad.
You got this missile tank already. Okay, sure, why not? I was not thinking. The room's supposed to be dark at that time, too. I don't know what I was thinking. Wait, did I get that missile tank? Okay, good, okay. Oh, so okay, sure. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna see a little bit of cleanup that's gonna happen right after I get the main power bomb. Basically, I'm gonna clean up the entirety of lower sector 5 because I can get everything there right now, right after getting power bombs, so I never have to go down there again. Like, during the cleanup segment of the game, Sector 5 cleanup is very quick because when I go to Nightmare, I'm also like, you pretty much clean up all of the Nightmare area as well, because you can get everything there first trip. There's only like 2 or 3 abilities that, not abilities, upgrades that you can't get on your first 2 trips. Well, this trip and the Nightmare trip. But they're pretty much on your way to the next sector anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. It flows really well. I pulled a secret key, I think. Almost. I am not trying to unlock level 3 doors. I am supposed to go get power bombs. And remember that level 3 doors are open.
It's even better when you get like 3 rooms down there and realize it.
Nah, that's too high. That wall jump is very specific. I think if you don't jump extend, that wall jump's pixel perfect. Without jump extending. And I was like, I think 2 or 3 pixels too high. If you're too high, you're going to hit the ceiling and you're not going to make it. But if you're too low, you're just not going to make it to the ledge. You have to be at just the right height, and it's really difficult. With some jump extending, you can give yourself a little bit of, like, probably 2 or 3 extra pixels of leeway. But it's a really hard wall jump to pull off, and also very risky, because if you go too high and you miss it, then you fall all the way down, and you have to climb all the way back up to get that thing. So... hopefully the Rippers here cooperate with me. That doesn't sound good. Okay, that's fine. Could have been worse. Oh yeah, also power bombs are like the best expansions in the game. Like, I really need 74 of them. I desperately need so many power bombs that
you need all those power bombs so me and Jagger can constantly do the
Yes, please do so. I will be at 0 power bombs at the end of this run. If not, then I will ban myself from chat. And just unban myself. Yeah. Okay, this is an example of what cleanup looks like. It's going to look like in Fusion 100%. A lot of rooms like this. A lot of puzzle rooms like this, which are really easy to pull off. That should be good. Perfect. I think I'm probably the most consistent at this room. A lot of people, BioSpark included, have a lot of trouble with it, but it's not a trivial room by any means. It's hard. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, they did love the crumble block puzzles in this game.
I thought they were pretty neat.
I do like the puzzles. They're really difficult and a pain in speedruns though. But they're pretty cool puzzles, I think. Conceptually. And yes, I know there's a missile tank here. I leave it for cleanup though because I have screw attack by then. So I can get it without using any bombs. And I pass through that room exactly the same way during cleanup, so. I think you passed through that room 4 times. No, 5 times in the entire run. Once right before meltdown, twice. So once before meltdown, once towards power bombs, once after power bombs, once on your way to nightmare, and then once during cleanup. So no, I am not forgetting that missile tank. Just FYI, in case you're wondering when I shine spark through that room and right before nightmare. Okay. So as I mentioned during JaggerG's run, the Spitter Hall is the most dangerous in 1%, and it's because they do 80 damage and you have to get the speed boost. It's not as bad in any percent because even if you don't get the speed boost, you will lose a chunk of time, but you can get an extra missile tank, which is kind of helpful. In 100%, you don't care. You have to get the missile anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'd rather get the speed boost, of course, but it's not that bad. So.
Also, randomly, power bomb. When you drop a power bomb to open up that tunnel there, occasionally one will not get destroyed for some stupid reason.
I mean, it's not random technically, but like there's kind of like a certain range of pixels. Like you put the power bomb and you consistently break the entire chain, which is what I do. But if I put down the power bomb like a little bit too low, then it'll interrupt the chains. It's kind of annoying.
Okay.
But for all intent purposes, if you don't know the exact position, it's really kind of random missions, annoying. And I'll save because why not? Who knows? I think what happens.
You're totally gonna die with 7 energy tanks.
I think what happens with the chained bomb blocks is that like when you put down a power bomb at a certain pixel or something, the power bomb breaks like 2 parts of the chain or something like that, and they kind of interrupt each other or something. I'm guessing that's probably what happens. Same in Zero Mission.
That actually sounds pretty accurate. Having watched Dragon Fang's tasks, do the 100% Zero Mission task.
Oh yeah,
basically doing that crumble block, doing the bomb block room like that.
That looked really painful to optimize in his TAS.
I think he was in that room for like an hour and a half. But he had to keep screwing with where he was getting the bomb blocks of chain, which was, yeah.
Oh, because I forgot about the missile tank. I think I realize now. Right, let's hope Yakuza cooperates. This fight will be pretty different from what we saw in Jagger because I have missiles, so I'm going to do a really difficult strat with missiles. So I'm going to have to concentrate a lot for this. Well, I mean, this part's easy, but the space jumping phase is really difficult. And because I have a lot of health, I can get grabbed and release immediately by mashing left to right really quickly. I think you have to tap it 16 times total to break out really quickly. Here we go.
Really quick escapes.
Woo! Triple double. That was a really good fight.
Very nice.
Very good
Triple
fight.
double with ice.
I mean, it could have been a slightly better fight, excluding luck. I think I missed 2 missiles, but that strat is so... It's a really hard strat. I think missing 2 missiles is kind of good enough. Like
Yeah, so the reason why he does that strat is because wide beam charge shots do 45 damage, ice missiles do 40 damage. So even though they're doing less damage, he can fire missiles faster than a charge beam. So it's more damage. It's more damage in a shorter period of time. Just the missiles are really hard to fucking aim.
The difficult part is that for it to be faster, you have to kind of immediately predict where he's going to go the moment you hit him, and then fire a missile and anticipate the direction he's going to jump in, and that's kind of random. So it's a really crazy fight of...
Kind of random?
Yeah, it's okay, it's random, but it's just... you have to pretty much guess where he's going to go, and instinctively guess where he's going to go, and fire a missile in where you think he's going to jump into. And it takes a lot of practice to get that down. Again, I'm putting down a power bomb here because I'm going to use this path during cleanup.
I'm glad to see you didn't almost die against the SAX.
I was wondering if I should go for it, just teasing the SAX again this time. Man,
The SAX would have come back and finished the job from SGDQ. She'll just completely break the AI and be like, no, I'm not falling for that shit this time.
Oh, Jagger strat.
This is done.
No, I missed a Jagger strat.
Lame.
Okay, so right here coming up, I'm actually not going to be mashing B. I manually time pressing B to fire my missiles. Because like, if I mash, then I actually fire them a bit slower, so I just kind of instinctively know the cooldown of these missiles.
Yeah, just another situation where the missiles are much faster than charge beam shots, just 'cause you can spam them.
Woo!
Wow, was that no tanks?
One double. It's spot. That works. I got 1 double, so that's pretty cool. Shout out to Kadoom for that strat. Let's see if I can get this really sexy shine spark. Maybe? Ah, yes! Got it! Yes, 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 yes! That saved like 1 second. I don't notice the timing of it, but it's close to I'm pretty sure it's pixel perfect. Close to frame perfect, not quite. But it's close. You kind of have to time the shine spark such that so that little flying dude will cancel out your bonk, and that saves like 1 second. It's risky to go for it because if you do it too early, you'll bonk and you will waste time not doing anything at all. So.
That key hunter wanted you, man.
But yeah, that damage boosting damage skill I did there is a lot harder than it looks. It looks trivial, but it's not. You have to shine spark immediately, or else that bug will swoop earlier and he's not going to hit you. So I really can't talk right now. I guess my tiredness is getting to me a bit. Oh well.
You are gonna sleep at some point, right?
After the marathon.
I meant during it.
I'm not so sure about that. Let's see. I plan on actually taking a nap during the, I think, like, I was gonna take a nap. I was gonna take a nap sometime, like, during the 2D Metroid block or something, but a lot of technical issues came up and I didn't have a chance to, so.
And it was the 2D Metroid block. Why would you want to miss that?
I think I plan on sleeping, I forgot when during the 2D Metroid block. I also plan on napping during other M, but that also brought up a few issues, technical stuff, so.
Yeah.
I pretty much had to stay up the entire time, and not even practice. I was gonna practice some Fusion or Prime 2 off stream, but didn't get a chance to. So yeah. Oh! I didn't go for the Nightmare Space Boost! Oh wait, no! I even pressed A! Okay, well I can now, yay! I thought I pressed A, but apparently not. Sure. That works.
Shine Spark straight up. Good
Oh no, I did? Okay. I wasn't holding right then.
Yeah, you Shine Spark straight into the
Ah! I was going down, so that didn't work.
Yeah, the weird thing about door transitions with the broken doors, the ones that are all destroyed, for whatever reason, when you go through the door, it resets your vertical position so that you're on the ground. So in order to space boost through these doors, you have to be jumping upward through the transition so that you don't land immediately during the transition. And you have to do that like 4 times, I think. 4 or 5 times for the space boost. It saves about 5 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty big time saver compared to Shine Sparking. But it's in a more serious run, it's not worth it at all because it's so difficult.
Unless you're Jagger.
Yeah, if someone can learn to get it semi-consistently, if someone gets it more than a few times, then I think it would be worth going for.
Sweet. Got to unmorph to avoid an extra landing. I don't know how to space jump.
Space jumping is hard, man.
Yeah, it is. One of the hardest things to do in these games.
My doors are loving you tonight, Kirby.
Yeah, they don't like me today. Oh no! Oh well, I'll just put some bombs in the diagonal. This is what a nightmare fight looks like without low percent. Except I messed up somehow.
Yeah, this first phase, basically you shoot it point blank in its crotch, and then shoot it with a missile, and it'll end the first phase immediately.
You can do that strat kind of safely-ish in 1%. Kind of safely-ish. It would save several seconds.
Yeah, you're almost guaranteed to get hit, pretty much.
But Nightmare doesn't kill you in
I
1
don't
hit,
go
so.
for it.
Yeah, so Nightmare is kind of a joke in this category because missiles.
Yeah.
Woo! Man, I'm getting a lot of triple doubles today.
A couple of those chinked.
Wait, is this Yakuza Nightmare, I think? Oh, I got 1 double and white beam and plasma beam, so that's good enough so far. I didn't mention this, but you kind of have to approach the door to let it open first. If you try to go right and then start running left, you're going to get stopped by that door because it's not fully open.
That door is evil.
It's kind of annoying. Oh, how did I get it? The exact same thing that happened to Jagger happened to me. Wow.
That pirate's hitbox. It's like
Dang.
the universe.
Dang.
What is that? We gotta figure out what that is.
Wow. That's
He's
pretty
trying
hilarious.
to be the 1% fish is what he's trying to do.
Hi, 1% fish. No.
I wasn't paying too close attention. I generally don't look at my own sprite when I'm moving around because, like, I'm just looking at all the other threats that I know are there. So when I got hit there, I didn't see anything there.
Oh, I'm gonna save like a few frames, by the way. Yay! I saved a few frames because frozen hitboxes are amazing.
When I was looking at it, it looked like the pirate's hitbox was just completely not where it was supposed to be.
That bomb was power bomb's way too far right.
How much damage did it do? Did you notice? It wasn't very much.
No, it didn't look like that much. Gravity suit kind of makes those guys trivial.
Yeah, it looked like 12 or something.
Oh, someone's asking about the secret message. One, you cannot actually skip the fusion missiles. The game forces you to go back and get them. And two, it wastes a lot of time at 100%, more so than 190%, so I'm not going to go for it because it wastes way too much time. And three, I have not practiced the Shine Spark method like in years, so yeah.
You should do the other method then.
Yeah, sure, I'll do the other method.
I mean, you're going to be doing a lot harder tricks later on there in the run. So at least there's that consolation.
That's true.
The 1% is pretty famous for. It's a really cool trick. It's a neat little bonus thing the developers let you do. Unfortunately, they tell you to just go back and do it normally afterwards, but.
And then you go do the fusion missiles wrong.
I don't know how to press up. I don't know how to press up.
That's fine, that happened to me for hard low percent.
Alright.
Oh boy, did it. You accidentally pressed up as well.
Yeah, that.
What, that pirate didn't die? Weird. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I can just kill him immediately, but still, it's weird.
I think you might have hit the floor with the missile.
Speaking of low percent, I don't know if you guys saw my message in Mumble, but I tried doing AM2R low percent on easy, and it makes hard low percent for zero mission look like a joke.
Okay. Well, I've done that once in like the past week, so.
Oh, nice.
It's not the hardest thing in the world with some practice, but kind of rusty-ish, so. Yeah. So for people who want to learn how to do a secret message the easy way, you can do this. This might take me. Yep, there you go. Wow, that was really fast. I thought third try. So you can just freeze that dude with an angled diagonal missile. Yeah, it has to be curved, so you have to be moving left at the correct pixel while aiming diagonally down left, and then you can freeze that dude. And just go.
It's kind of it's a really weird mechanic because for some reason it pushes the missile forward as you're holding forward. As you're moving forward. It doesn't really matter, like, whether or not you were moving forward initially. If you just stand neutrally and shoot it and then walk forward, it'll still push it forward after the fact.
So, just two things to mention really quickly. One, you don't need super missiles to get that missile tank as long as you're fast. There's nothing special to it, just beast. And two, I did something called a ladder climb, which you'll see a lot more of those in 100 and during cleanup, and they're a lot harder than they look. Like, just an example, there's a really specific ladder climb in Sector 3 cleanup that is really long and looks really cool and it's very fast. But if I've tried to do it more than 3 or 4 times in a row, my left thumb actually started bleeding once from doing it. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, it starts hurting a lot after 3 or 4 times. So you'll see it during cleanup. Okay, let me make sure I got everything in Sector 4. Yep.
Was that like after washing your hands 10 times or
I
something?
don't know. I think I was just grinding it out one time during the summer before
Oh,
SG 2013, and it just killed my left thumb. I was like, I'm not stopping until I get this like 5 times in a row, and then I couldn't touch my SP for like a day, and I'm like, ah, this sucks.
Well, like this one time I played Metroid Prime Hunters, and yeah, my hands were cramping for a while.
Yeah.
Pretty similar.
So yeah, this part's pretty much exactly the same as any percent and 1%, except I have a lot of missiles, I don't have to worry about it. And I get one E-tank, because remember I planted a bomb to set up for an E-tank in that first 2x2 room, see. But first you'll see one of many space boosts. Hopefully many space boosts. Right here. Whee! And I did something called an R shot, which I mentioned before during JaggerG's run. That's what allows you to open doors while space boosting, so you don't have to cut your space boost.
Yeah, that's the only way to space boost through multiple rooms.
Well, multiple
Well,
rooms with a
other
door.
than broken doors.
Like, oh yeah, an R shot is where you tap R while charging your beam. It doesn't affect Sam's physical state, if that makes any sense. So like, if she's spinning and you release B while charging, then she'll break out of her spin, for example. But if you R shoot it, then she's not going to break out of her spin. You'll see me do another one soon, probably. Actually, no, you're not going to see me do one yet. But yeah.
Also apparently technically possible to shine spark through the box, but it's really hard to do, and it doesn't actually do anything.
Fortunately.
Pretty neat though.
Oh, I got 4 missiles. Dang. That was not a very good fight. Oh well.
This used to be one of my problem bosses in 1% as well, simply because damage, you have almost no space to avoid it.
Yeah, it is actually. The Wademan Quartz is a lot more dangerous than Box 2, actually. Once you figure out Box 2's patterns, Xbox's patterns.
Warning,
So.
no entry without authorization.
Yeah, if you know exactly where to hang during each attack, you can pretty consistently avoid damage in the first, well, against Box itself.
Without authorization. Warning, no entry without authorization.
Lag.
60 seconds to isolation lockdown.
I like the way the computer sounds when it lags like that.
The beam upgrade damage difference. Okay, I know most of the numbers off the top of my head. So, normal beam shot does 2 damage. Its charge beam, when it's charged, each part does 10 damage for a total of 20. So it does 26 with the flare. I don't remember how much the flare does for every beam upgrade afterwards, but it does increase by like 1 or 2 damage. The wide beam does 45 damage total when charged, so 15 damage per part or per circle. The plasma beam does 27 damage per frame it's inside an enemy. The wave beam does exactly the same damage as the plasma beam, and the ice beam does, I think, 36 damage per frame charged. So yeah. And normal missiles do 10 damage, supers do 30, ice missiles do 40, and diffusions do 45. And charging your diffusion missile doesn't actually add any damage. It just creates the flakes, which do 1 damage. Very helpful 1 damage.
So some people have done a run on the debug mode in which you can basically unlock any of your abilities at any time, as well as like advance the event triggers. But they basically went through the game unlocking basically the best item set.
It's pretty fun.
And it's actually faster to downgrade to wide beam during Nightmare, because plasma beam does damage per frame, but it does less damage per frame.
It mostly applies to Nightmare.
And it only hits for like 1 frame.
And Xbox kind of. Because like when you shoot plasma beam at Xbox, you're generally not gonna, your beam's almost never gonna stay in it for like 1 or 2 frames, so you're better off using infusions. And Nightmare, the plasma beam only stays in it for 1 frame, so you're better off using missiles, period. Yeah, that was bad.
So a difference in strategy for this room, what he tried to do was spawn 2 of the pirates at once, which is like obviously faster because you don't have to wait for the second one to spawn after killing the first pirate, since they're spawning at the same time. You only have to kill no matter where they spawn from, which X spawns them.
No, 1 more. Ah, that was off.
I couldn't really afford to go for it in 1% because they kill you in 1 shot, I believe. And this fight is, of course, it'll look a lot different, but it's actually only a little bit faster this way.
It's actually a lot harder than it looks. To make sure you get it fast right.
Yeah, the difference pretty immediately after each charge beam.
That's 1 double at least.
Just because of the way cooldowns work, it's not really costly to shoot missiles after charge beams.
It saves very little time, but it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah, it'll just...
No!
Aww.
The very last ripper. Dang it.
Rip in peace.
Rip in peace. Ripper in peace. But yeah, the really fight's a lot harder than it looks when you fight him on the ground, because you have to like constantly predict which way is he gonna go and how are you gonna fire your shots such that your beam stays inside of him as long as possible. It's actually pretty difficult to do a fast friendly fight when fighting him on the ground. Oh yeah, this is probably the hardest part of the entire run, easily.
And fun fact, in the Ripper room that we were mourning about earlier, Jimmy likes every single one of those Rippers because he's a heartless monster.
Anyway, so this is pretty much where the cleanup begins, which is what really differentiates 100% from the other 2 categories, and is easily the hardest part of the entire run. That time was okay. You can shine spark up there, but for me at least, the shine sparking is a ½ second slower. Although I lost that ½ second when I messed up 1 ladder jump, so... Like, pretty much everything I do here is a lot harder than it looks. And pretty much like a single trick is pretty much a run killer, in terms of going for a
this is pretty much where the run begins, for 100%.
A little quick ladder climb here. So you see quite a few ladder climbs in 100%. And you also see a lot of space... Oh, I fucked up too early. You'll see a lot of space boosts in 100% as well.
Dang.
Ah, too early. Good. Let's see if I can get all these ice missile snipes. 1, 2. Yes! Ah! So close. So close.
Totally worth it.
Worth it. Alright, so I'm mostly done with Sector 1 cleanup. There is one power bomb tank I missed, but I will get that during Sector 2 cleanup, because it's right by the exit to Sector 2. So I'm gonna go finish up Sector 3. There'll be some cool stuff here. Another space boost coming up here. And I fired an R-shoot that beam down to kill a side hopper in case it gets in the way. And another space boost here. So I don't mess it up. Good. That one sucks to mess up. So you have to go all the way around to get the Z tank and the power bomb tank above.
Yeah, so a while ago I was talking to Biospark and I was like, you know, this 100% run is pretty old. I wonder if there's a better route. Like, I would like to just like go the other direction during 100% or something like that. He was like, I don't know. It might be faster. I don't know. Probably not. And then, like, several years later, so, I don't know if it was Kirbymastah or someone else, but they were like, wondering, like, there's a potential new route if you go the other way around the sectors. And he's like, oh, well, I guess I might as well test it. And finally, after several years, we saved like 15 seconds. And another fun fact about like this shine spark right here, well, more specifically this fall right here, after he shine sparks. I initially did this thinking, oh, like, this probably doesn't save time. I just wanted to do this to do a few extra space boosts and shine sparks in certain places, just to make it a little more interesting. And Dragonfangs was watching the run and it was like, well, might as well time it. And it turned out to be, like, optimally it's like 3 seconds faster this way.
That's literally what happened. This is right here. This right here.
I was like, there's no way it could save enough time to warrant shine sparking all the way up the shaft and then falling all the way back down. Like the tallest shaft in the sector. I think the second tallest shaft in the game.
Must put that power bomb down. I was just having fun.
But like one of the biggest reasons that saves time is, as you saw earlier, he could space boost across the lava room, whereas normally you would have to run through the lava pools. It's like really slow. You have to jump up a bunch of ledges. And
Perfect.
yeah, and then he's got to do all these ladder climbs as well. And then pretty shortly after this, there's another cool trick, and it's like pretty much the main reason I wanted to go this direction. Charge a shine spark through here, spark through this lava room, and that saves a couple seconds as well. It manages to make the time worth spent just like falling all the way down that shaft.
The ladder climb I did was pretty much perfect right away, and that's the ladder climb I talked about when my left thumb started bleeding after doing it so much. And as I mentioned, Sector 5 is really quick. It's really straightforward. You can just get things that are kind of on your way already. On your way to Sector 6, which is the hardest part of cleanup. So, see how that goes. Another space boost here. That saves like no time. It only saves if you can get the very flat breaking wall, if that makes sense, any sense. So you can just run across instead of jumping over the broken
That's pretty good.
It's close enough though.
Yeah.
And now I get this missile tank. Because I can screw attack block. That's the only reason I got this missile tank so late. So I don't have to bomb that block, I can just screw attack it and save like 1 second. 1 or 2. Something like that.
Yeah, really minor things like this is what makes this drastically different from, well, actually no, it's more stuff than this that makes it drastically different from, 200 missile races.
Alright. I need to secure the locks. Here we go. There's 6. This should be good. I pressed B and let go of B. What's wrong with me? That was really close. Oh well.
Oh, wow.
I was holding B for some reason. I let go of B for some reason, so...
Okay.
Here we go. No! That seriously just happened again. Like in my practice stream before. Sad face. I'm always scared of jumping too high there, but it's never happened until like last week, and then now it's just now. Oh well. That's should be good. Ah, that was really close. That was really close.
Well, actually, you did get through there, so that's pretty good.
The important thing is I got into the room at least with that space boost, but ideally I'll get the power bomb tank all the way.
No matter which one you go for, really.
That's too low. This power bomb tank should not be this difficult. This is what happens if you miss that space boost, and it's basically run over you. Whoa! Whoa! I've never seen that happen before. What the heck?
Oh, that's awesome.
That is so cool.
I have pretty sure this frame perfect, but this is really awesome.
Yeah, that space boost I was trying to do is one of the hardest space boosts in the game, besides like the Nightmare space boost. It's actually slower than the standard 100% route, but I went for it because why not? Even though I've never done it since last summer. And I almost got it, so yay, that's good enough.
Left to right method as well.
Here's kind of a really annoying detour here where I have to go to the restricted sector and get a power bomb tank. And it's kind of annoying. Oh my god! Train wreck percent!
And Wow.
I jumped too early there. Okay, I'm just gonna transport back here. I'm not used to my shine. I'm not used to going into that room without a speed boost. So. There we go. You don't want to shine spark up, by the way, or else you will pretty much be stuck in Sector 1 and have to go all the way back around, and that's very bad.
It loses a lot of time. What is that? Maybe a minute?
Probably more. Although I think Biospark was looking into routes that actually took that shortcut. The main reason why it's generally slower is because you have to take like 2 elevators in a row, but if it will actually be faster than what you see right now. So, it's kind of interesting to see that.
But yeah, there's a lot of time going through that sector in which there's nothing you can really get.
And this power won't think. First try! Sure, I'll take
Nice.
that. First try on the way back. I'll take that. Double frame perfect, all the way, across the
Wow.
Sector 6.
This is the run, man. You're gonna get a 104.
I know.
And if I'm not mistaken, the current SDA run for 100% fusion is like really outdated,
It's
but
really outdated. More so than
really
the original
outdated,
one,
and it's a relic of older standards of SDA. There's that that tank that he got 2 frame perfect spring balls off of crumble blocks on. It took the runner, I believe, 2 minutes to get, because he kept falling through the crumble blocks.
I think it was 1.5 minutes or something. Oh, I forgot to pause. Okay, yeah, I got everything. And Sector 4 this is the hard part of cleanup, actually, I lied.
And for a long time, I still couldn't even get as low as he did. It was a 113.
Oh, cleanup done, except for Sector 4. That was really difficult. One minor thing is that I'm space boosting. You actually want to speed boost jump or space boost over slopes, because if you speed boost, actually like run down the slope while speed boosting, you actually go a bit slower. So if you space boost over slopes, you're space boosting horizontally at the same speed as just speed boosting on flat ground. So you save frames like that. Just a frame perfect jump. Sure, one. Another one. Okay.
Love Crumble City.
I think the SDA run is 113 in game time, and quite a few people have beaten that now. Biosparks had a 106 for a while, until like Thanksgiving around. Oh wait, okay,
Yeah, shortly after that run was posted, I was trying to do runs. Like, I was not nearly as good as I am now. Like, I was...
Yeah, whatever. It looks cool. Slower, but it looks cool. I'll take that. Alright, continue.
Good. So I was trying to see how fast I could do it with a segmented run, and I got down to a 119, and it was like 6 minutes off of his single segment. I was like, guy is really fast. And tried a single segment run, it was 125, and now my personal best single segment is 109. A lot has changed since then. I think a lot of what it was is not stopping to kill enemies, actually trying to speedrun bosses instead of merely like go with my instincts and family.
Perfect. That's pretty hard. That's harder than it looks. And there's 2 powerbomb tanks in a row right there, so that's kind of nice. Probably the last ladder climb right there. Yeah, I actually was gonna when I started doing 1%, well not 1%, 100% really seriously. I was like, oh, my PB is like 110. Now I think I'll submit to SD when I get a 108. Oh, this run sucks. Let's submit when I get a 107. Oh, this run sucks. Let's submit when I get a 106. Oh, this run sucks. Let's submit when I get a 105. And that's where I am right now.
I was hearing that from Biospark for like 3 years before he posted his 80% and 1% runs.
Oh hey, that sounds like my Metroid 1 mentality for the last like 3 years. I'll submit when I get a 47. Oh, that run looked like crap. I'll submit when I get a 46. That one looked like crap too. 45-30. No, that one's terrible. Let's go for sub 45.
We're speedrunners. We're never satisfied. Okay, I lie. I'm really satisfied with my 80% PB. It's a really good run, I think.
Not as fast as Biospark.
Biospark's a little bit faster, but oh, whoops. That's not gonna work. Oh well. Maybe it's cleanup. I have every item except for a powerbomb tank in the main deck, and yep, 31 out of 32 powerbombs, 20 out of 28 tanks, and 48 out of 48 missile tanks. And that's pretty much most of the cleanup right there. So if you guys liked watching all the cool tricks or me failing easy tricks and cool tricks,
start spamming those powerbomb, Kirby.
I can reach 0. I think I can reach 0. Yeah, I'll do that.
You better reach 0. You're gonna have to reset and do this all over again.
Oh yeah, these power bombs are so important in this run.
Because
Gotta use every last one of them.
Let's see if I can get this strat over here. Ah, not perfect, but oh well.
Miles pines for the good old days.
Fusion's still in here. Oh no. I should actually try to make sure I have missiles for SAX.
no, just fight him the old fast way.
Yeah, this is kind of boring stuff.
I would have never guessed.
Well, people are already spamming Resident Sleeper. Okay, that's good. Yeah, text matching is kind of annoying. Like, you have to... When the text box starts, you have to hold A. And then you have to let go and press it to start the next text box. But you can't just continue holding A, you have to press it again. I think it works with B and, like, I think down as well. Yeah, so it's really annoying. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I haven't really ran Fusion that much lately, so I haven't really practiced the double missiles on the ice beam droids. But hey, I have 2,099 HP. Might as well go for it.
I do like this fight.
It's five shot. Got one double, I think. That was 5 rounds, and it takes 6 rounds to kill it. So yeah, you got one double.
No triple double reset.
And
Sequence activated.
see, I told you guys I need all 250 missiles and 74 power bombs. I'll say time probably comes at about 1.5 minutes. I think. Minutes, something like that. Zigzags!
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm a little sad they still use Ridley's beam for the escape instead of having like a unique escape theme.
Oh, I missed a low high shine part. Sad face. So I guess I'll just have to do this instead. Come on, I missed it. Bummer. Oh well. Not gonna get it every run. There's a glitch you can do where if you reach the top right corner before it finishes roaring, then you can make it hop in place like a pogo stick, and that's a trick we call Omega. Does it save time? No, it just looks absolutely hilarious. And I was trying to do an almost pixel perfect shine charge so I can shine spark into the top right corner, but I missed that, so I was trying to do a back of space jump method, but that didn't work either. So there's something else I'm going to try out here. I'm going to actually keep an eye on a timer, unlike what I did on my stream a few days ago. So hopefully I can get this at least to make up for that missed pogo. Not get slashed. Okay, come on. Oh, come on.
You
really
weakened it a little? You weakened it a little already?
I have enough time. I can go for like two more tries, I think, and then not to kill it. Okay, one more try.
110.
Man, I was trying to do a glitch where you get hit by the Omega Metroid while it jumps, and you shoot automatically release your charge beam, and then you can make it levitate, but I didn't get it at all, so sad face. This run sucked. No pogo, no levitating Omega. Oh, time in now. Right. Oh well. Can't get it in every run, so.
Looks like a 150-20.
150-20. So considering all the random YOLO stuff I did, still underestimate. Woo! So that works. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. Lots of interesting stuff happened, like the Space Pirates hitbox. So, I guess we can watch for the in-game time. I'm not sure if I really care too much about it, but might as well.
You can't deny them their dear for. Oh wait.
No dear force. Sad face.
Their dear 110.
Hype.
Alright, so while waiting for the credits, next up we have Metroid Prime Pinball, which is going to be fun. So I'm going to leave the mumble really quickly. I'm going figure out, talk to Uchiha, who's going to be the runner for Pinball, and figure out what he's doing, so BRB.
Okay, well, is it still on? Is that still on you before?
Actually, no. The audio's gonna be on me entirely. I'll just PM him. It's probably better.
Yeah, I thought about getting Pinball, like a couple months ago, but I'll get it later.
It's actually the only Metroid-related game I don't have.
Ditto.
Cool. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. This was fun. I'm not even gonna try. I suck at making the sounds. For Metroid Prime Pinball setup, this might take a little bit of time because it's on a DS and we're using a different layout for the DS game, since both screens are really important. And the setup's a little bit different than what we've been using to set up for the rest everyone up to now, so this might take several minutes to set up, but I might as well change the title of the stream right now.
Thankfully, Prime Hunters doesn't require capping both screens.
Yeah. So Prime Hunters is going to be using the same 4:3 layout, aspect layout as all the other runs so far. So,
GBA is actually not 4:3.
it's close enough. But
Yeah, I mean, it's only a little bit up, but it's technically not 4:3.
Overall, that was a pretty good run, though, man. Nailed a lot of tricks. Good job.
a lot of thanks. There was a lot of cool stuff in it, so yep.
Please let it be a 110.
It probably is because I wasted a lot of time at Omega Metroid. If I didn't, it probably would have been a 109, barely. Yeah, it's exactly 110.
Yeah.
Nice.